New information tonight about a deadly plane crash just north of St. Elmo in Grand Bay.
The victim has been identified as Scott Grantham of Theodore. The National Transportation Safety Board says he had been in touch with Mobile Approach Control just minutes before his plane went down. Fox News reporter April Douglas joining us live in our studio. April, what can you tell us?
Well, Bob Lanise, the National Transportation Safety Board says Scott Grantham was working on bringing his nighttime flight hours current when his plane crashed yesterday evening. They say he radioed Mobile Approach Control to ask for permission to return back to the St. Elmo airport 5 minutes after he took off. Now, Scott Grantham was the general manager of Kingdom Coach in Theodore. Those who knew him say he was truly a people person, and news of his death is just starting to sink in. Rain pounds a field in Grand Bay, while investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration comb the wreckage of a small airplane that went down here Monday night. The crash killed the pilot, Scott Grantham.
Collided with the ground in a near vertical attitude. It did not collide with any trees or anything else. And the main body of the fuselage is buried approximately 4 feet beneath the surface of the ground.
Smith says Grantham did not file a flight plan or request a weather report before takeoff. The NTSB says the weather was marginal under visual flight rules. Smith says 5 minutes after taking off, Grantham called to ask for permission to return to the airport.
And all of a sudden he got right there and he just made a turn.
From his back porch, Barry Dix saw the plane in distress.
I figured he was headed back to St. Elmo Airport, and all of a sudden he made a hard turn back to the north, and when he did, it dropped like a rock.
And what's the next thing you saw?
A big, bright explosion, and it rattled the windows in this house.
Dix says he called 911 and told the dispatcher what he had seen.
It took me a second to did that really happen?
People who knew Scott Grantham say it's still hard to believe. He was the owner and general manager of Kingdom Coach in Theodore. Joe Marshall says it's a family business and Grantham was as good as they get.
He's just an amazing person. He really was. And anything he did it 120%, believe me.
Dix says he sees a lot of planes pass over his yard living so close to the St. Elmo airport. But this is one he'll never forget. Now, where Grantham's plane went down was out of our view. The trees were blocking it. The National Transportation Safety Board has requested the pilot records, the aircraft records, and he will also talk to eyewitnesses before this investigation is over. Now, the plane will not be moved until tomorrow.